Cancer, hello, welcome to Coffee, Sage, and Tarot. This is going to be your monthly reading for April 2025. Alrighty, we're going to take a look at the theme as well as any opportunities and challenges you'll have coming into April, and as well what you should be letting go and what you should be embracing for the month ahead. Okay, please do keep in mind that these are general readings. They are not a one size fits all. So take what resonates, leave what does not, and of course reverse anything as you see fit. Okay. Show me Cancer for April 2025, please. Show me Cancer for the month of April 2025. That was a fun one. Show me Cancer, please, for April 2025. Thank you. All right, wow. Almost all wand energy here. That is quite interesting for you. All right, let's get into this. Nine of Wands as you coming into April. Okay, so feeling, looking, perhaps energetically very fatigued here, not seeing properly, not thinking properly. It's, you know, your energy doesn't look too good. You look a little weary here. So we'll see if we can get, some clarification on that, okay? The image of like an uphill battle is coming. So we'll see if we can't get some clarification there, okay? Knight of Wands as the challenge. This feels like keeping your energy moving forward, keeping that energy consistent, keeping yourself going, right? Continuing that momentum. Opportunity here, Four of Wands. So it does feel like whatever you're in pursuit of, there's a great opportunity here for some celebration. So it feels like a little bit like eye on the prize, okay? So whatever this Nine of Wands is, at least on the outset, it looks like you're moving towards something that has the potential for some really good, awesome achievement, awesome positives here. The ends look like, at least on the outset, that they are justifying the means here, okay? The challenge is the what you should be letting go, my apologies, is the Eight of Swords. So not only keeping yourself trapped, but also this idea of not moving or stopping the momentum here and allowing yourself to get to stop, allowing that momentum to cease, right? That is interesting here, and kind of closing yourself off to the potential opportunity that April brings, okay? Page of Wands as what you should be embracing. Yeah, again, super interesting here. Page of Wands, getting excited, right? Getting fired up again to continue this momentum. And it feels like that's what's necessary here, right? Instead of getting trapped and getting bogged down and I can't do it, this is just too much, I'm really not feeling like I can accomplish this. Kind of flipping that on its head and saying, no, I can do this. I just have a couple more steps to go, and then I'll be there, and then I'll be there, and then I'll be there, right? Knight of Swords as the lesson. This is interesting, right? These two, we'll see if they're working together or working against each other. My intuition is saying they're working together, just based on what we have on the board on the outset here, Cancer. This kind of gives the vibe of continuing this momentum that the Knight has, right? That the Knight of Wands has. Pushing through energetically and pushing through mentally, pushing past this idea of that Eight of Wands, wanting to kind of sink down and say, I give up kind of deal, okay? We will get to the shadow, and hopefully that will tie everything in the reading together at the end. But for now, let's go to that Nine of Wands for Cancer, please. Show me that Nine of Wands for Cancer. Oh, thank you. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so for the Nine of Wands, we have the Three of Pentacles, the Ace of Wands, and the Six of Pentacles here, along with the Magician, the Ace of Cups, and the Ace of Swords. Wow, look at these aces here. That is some major, major opportunity available to you, right? And it feels like you are the driving force to these this new Ace of Cup. I mean, that is your element, Cancer. So an opportunity to spark something new in you, right? A renewed Cancer here. Ace of Swords, a new perspective, right? Focusing on the new priority, perhaps, right? And your immediate clarifier here, this feels like, you know, this idea here of getting excited again, or just doubling down on what matters here, what you should be giving your priority to, right? Sliding into that successfully a little bit, right? Integrating, okay, I'm doing this, it's important. I'm doing this, it's important. I'm doing this, it's important. So taking whatever kind of new thing that you're approaching here, and even if it is really challenging, remembering, okay, I'm fired up, I'm remembering what's important, and then something starts to click here. And with that click and that transformation, that is very much a process that you are driving. You are the driving force for this, Cancer. It's leading to these other opportunities here with these two different aces, right? A little bit of Capricorn energy here with that Three of Pentacles, which is really interesting. That stubbornness that you two share, right? That stern, firm commitment to when you dig in, right? And it's interesting, whatever this is that's taking place, you're committed to it in the physical, and nothing is really stopping you here. So it feels like even though you're weary, even though, you know, you've seen better days here, you're committed, right? And this Ace of Wands showing up right at the center of your reading is really quite interesting, just because you're fired up, right? And you're almost like holding a flame, and everything that's happening is revolving around that passion, right? That passionate ace that we see here. Beautiful. I want to jump actually to the Knight of Swords as what your lesson is. Show me that Knight of Swords for Cancer. Show me that Knight of Swords as the lesson for Cancer in April, please. Show me that Knight of Swords. Thank you. All right, Knight of Swords here. We have the Page of Wands, King of Pentacles, Ten of Swords, Seven of Swords, Judgment here. Interesting. Okay. We're ushering an end to something here. So there is, the cycle is completing, right? It almost feels like there's part of this idea of success, or part of something that you had wanted for yourself in the long term, for your life here. It's kind of an admission of this has come to an end. We're putting an end to this idea, this vision, right? Seven of Swords and Judgment here. Like, you can't outrun judgment, right? And so it feels like we're almost shedding these swords, and almost as if he's kind of chucking them away. He's chucking them to turn into judgment, turn into this awakening that seems to be your lesson for April. So it feels like there's an admission here, an ending, an admission of this needs to stop, this needs to end, as it relates to something to do with your success in the physical. Let's take a look at this Knight of Wands for Cancer. Show me this Knight of Wands for Cancer, please. Show me this Knight of Wands for Cancer. Thank you. There's that Magician again. And here is this Cup energy. Huh. All right. For the Knight of Wands, we have the Ten of Cups, the Ace of Cups, the Magician here. This really does feel like keep your eye on the prize, right? Remember what's at stake. Remember what you value. Remember what's important here. Remember you are the driving force with that Magician. All good things, right? We're moving forward in earnest. This is a nice positive energy for your Knight to be carrying here. And it does feel, again, kind of similar to here, less painful, a cycle ending, right? Remembering what we have in mind, our eye on the prize, renewed Cancer, right? Coming into another aspect of your element, or coming back to your element, right? Remembering that transformation happens from you, right? Gearing up, renewed commitment to whatever is taking place here, whatever kind of you're doubling down on here, right? Page of Cups, the World, Page of Swords in the shadow. This Page of Cups, it feels like you're putting an end to him. Perhaps all the getting lost in that cup of possibility, getting caught up in the what ifs. What if this doesn't go this way? What if I want it to go this way? What if, I try to end it this way, but it doesn't end the way I want it to? What if it doesn't end on my timeline? Well, why isn't this working? I thought it would go like this. Why isn't it happening like this, right? All of these whys and these what ifs, it feels like there's an end coming to that. And instead of that Page of Cups, you're now leaning on that Page of Swords, and this idea of insight, right? Knowledge taking the place, or kind of quashing these what ifs. So almost picking up the sword of reason, right? And allowing that to come through and kind of quash whatever this Page of Cups might be anxiously grasping at, right? Well, what if it doesn't go this way? Well, if it doesn't go this way, we'll find another way. Well, what if it doesn't happen by this date? Then we'll adjust our timeline, right? And so it's almost this idea of you're swapping this kind of anxious page for more sound reason, right? So that's really quite lovely here. Let's take a look at this Four of Wands for you, Cancer. Show me this Four of Wands for Cancer, please. Show me this Four of Wands for Cancer. Thank you. Another end. This one not as neat. Okay, immediate clarifiers here for that Four of Wands, the opportunity for April. Okay, we have the Queen of Swords, the Queen of Cups, the Three of Cups. Okay, you're showing up a little bit here, which is really lovely. Knight of Cups in the shadow. So to take it as it is here, there's a conversation, right? Remember how I said between logic and reason in the shadow here? Or logic and emotion. This is that conversation happening. It feels at a higher level with these queens, right? Equal energy, having a conversation to find what? Joy, contentment, right? Also in this three, there is a slight kind of inkling of fulfillment there, right? Celebration to be had. Okay, so there is an opportunity for celebration. This also feels like unity. Okay, so if it's potentially, you could be looking at a marriage or solidifying a union here. Okay, and if that's not the case, then definitely coming to terms, your mind, your logic, and your emotion are finding harmony this month. There is an opportunity to find harmony within you and balance your emotion with your reason. Okay, that is amazing. Knight of Cups, 10 of Pentacles, again solidifying an end here, solidifying an achievement in that cycle, right? So perhaps with these queens talking to each other and having that commitment there, that equal footing, and having that conversation, there's a leveling up. You're seeing your the world that you exist in a new way, right? Your outlook has changed, right? Based on how you feel on the inside. Perhaps things seem to click where they once didn't, right? So that is really, really interesting here, right? And it all stems from a doubling down on this idea of not giving up, staying persistent in whatever your Nine of Wands pursuit is. Let's take a look at this Nine of Swords. Show me this Nine of Swords for Cancer, please. Or Eight of Swords. Show me this Eight of Swords for Cancer. Show me this Eight of Swords for Cancer last time. Show me this Eight of Swords for Cancer, please. Thank you. Nope. Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, all right. Not often do the cards turn upside down, but here they do. And for you, they do for this last little bit of your reading. Okay. So the Eight of Swords, we have Temperance, Five of Cups, Hanged Man. Alrighty. So we're letting go of sorry, I'm stirring my tea. So just like she's trapped there, right? And she's trapped there by her own doing, she can move. You're letting go of it feels like you're letting go of something from the past that didn't turn out the way you wanted it to be. Perhaps there was something you were holding out hope for, and that hope that you were holding out for ended up stunting whatever this work is that you're trying to push past. And so it feels like April is an amazing opportunity for you, Cancer, to let go of what you lost or what you never had, if that makes sense. Seven of Swords in the shadow here. What's hidden and what is deceived will now be made right. It's almost like you can no longer hide behind this veil, right? And that's kind of what I'm seeing here, just in your overall reading here. It's like you're putting an end to something, right? And you're finding the joy in something because your reason and your emotion have locked, they're in lockstep here. And so there's no part of you or whatever kind of lingering part of you that's saying, but I didn't want it this way. But I still thought I would get this. What if it happens this way? Part of that, it's almost like with this conversation that's happening here with your mind and your emotion coming into unity, whatever this energy is here, there's a release of it. Interesting. All right, let's take a look at this Page of Wands here. Let's take a look at this Page of Wands for Cancer, please. Let's take a look at this Page of Wands for Cancer, please. Thank you. Interesting. Okay. Page of Wands, we have clarified by the Six of Cups, the Two of Wands, the Eight of Wands, Knight of Pentacles in the reverse, Judgment in the reverse. Well, you can't hide from judgment. Knight of Wands, clarified by the Six of Cups, the Two of Wands, the Eight of Wands here. So again, it feels like you're embracing similar to how you're coming up on successfully integrating something here and just doubling down and saying, I can do this. If I just stick it out a little bit more, if I just have a little bit more faith in myself, I will come to whatever kind of ending this is. The ends are going to justify the means because I'm going to feel so good once my mind and my emotion are on the same page here. It's going to feel great once I kind of let this go, this lingering thing from my past that is holding me back. It feels like that kind of Six of Pentacles here is kind of mirroring in this Six of Cups, right? To say you're giving something to yourself. You're fulfilling I don't want to say a need. Words are hard today. I'm not sure why. You're fulfilling a hole, maybe. Whatever this was here, right? This idea of what you thought you wanted or you never really got. You take that, and it's almost like you're turning that inside yourself, and you're saying, I didn't get it this way. I'm going to give that to myself, or I'm going to give myself the benefit of forgiveness or the benefit of acceptance. I'm going to give myself the gift of putting this behind me, right? And looking at with this Two of Wands here, looking at things kind of from a different vantage point and moving forward with that knowledge in mind, to kind of really get excited about this work that you're doing and further on your outlook, to continue moving forward. Okay. Knight of Pentacles in the reverse as well as judgment here. It does feel like you're turning your no, it feels like this work is not, even though something might happen here uh, outside of you, it feels like the focus is not on whatever this is. So, it could be like, oh, I really thought I was going to get a house by the time I was 30. Okay. Um, I'm so close. I'm so close. I'm so close. And then, you know, say coming up on your 30th birthday and you still don't have the house. And, you know, it becomes this thing of, I didn't do it. I thought I would do it. It didn't turn out this way. And then the opportunity here is it will happen, right? Your emotion and your reason talking together. You really want this. It was brought up in your brain, or you thought it to be a physical reflection of your success, right? Or of, how great of a person you are. You modeled your individuality based on whether or not you get a house by 30. And you're not realizing that, at least on that timeline. That's okay. And kind of coming to the realization that you are not, what makes you you is not the fact that you have a house by 30, but it's all the things that you've accomplished and the character that you've built yourself up to be, turning that age, right? Something to that effect. So it's kind of like this idea that your life path, or this idea that it's about within you. It's about what's happening inside of you. What's outside, this external thing, it doesn't matter. You could take it or leave it, right? It's about how you feel on the inside, Cancer, and making sure that that is centered and rational, and that you're not doing yourself a disservice by clinging onto something that had no that has kind of long past its opportunity to happen in the way that you wanted it to, or clinging to this idea of it'll happen, or clinging to it didn't happen, right? However you're kind of feeling that emotion, it's this idea that it doesn't matter, because you need to let it go, right? And that's kind of reiterated here with the Page of Wands, King of Pentacles, 10 of Swords here. It's almost like this idea of recommitting to yourself, or remembering that even if this didn't work out the way you wanted it to, you're still a whole person. Yeah, this feels like putting to death something in the physical realm, or putting to death the idea that something should matter in the material realm more than it does, right? Putting extra weight on it. Interesting. In the shadow here, we do have the Ace of Wands, that Three of Pentacles, the 10 of Cups, and the Ace of Swords. From within, right? From within, from that Ace of Wands, from that passion, everything can exist around it. And even though there is that Three of Pentacles, that Capricorn kind of energy, that dig in, right? We can dig into the positives with that 10 of Cups. We can dig into the emotional fulfillment, right? Even if our life took us on a left turn and we ended up in a place we didn't think we would be, and you're still holding out hope that you'll course correct, maybe this is where you're meant to be. And finding the excitement in that, and the joy in that, and finding new perspective in that, right? Renewed passion for this. Interesting, Capricorn. What a very nice reading. What a very nice reading for you. I love this. This, I think, is just the most beautiful thing here. The idea of, having an honest conversation about what you know to be true and the boundaries of your cup and your emotion, and coming to terms with things, right? There's a coming to terms kind of conversation here that happens, that is just, yeah, I mean, it needs to be celebrated, right, Cancer? It's a beautiful thing to see that acceptance of what is. That's awesome. Cancer, I really appreciate you taking the time to stop by and gain some insight heading into April here. I appreciate you, as I hope you appreciate this reading. Thank you so much for stopping by. I wish you all the best in April, and we'll see you next time. Take care.